Let's restart. Let's restart, Pat. All right.
Okay.
So, what's your position?
I think all forms of physicalism fail.
So you're not arguing for materialism?
Uh, if all forms of physicalism fail, then that would mean that dualism is true. It's like a proof by contradiction type of thing.
Oh, okay. So I'll just be arguing the stance is just more probabilistic that the mind is going to be material. So I'm just going to ask you, what defeats physicalism?
I can just like lay out my reasons why I reject the forms of physicalism, and then we can like go over each one. So I reject identity theory mainly because I think it fails to capture qualia. I don't think it. Hold on, give me a sec.
Identity theory. Oh, yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
All right. So as I was saying, sorry. I feel like it fails to capture qualia and like qualitative experience. Um, I suppose I just think like it's kind of dissatisfactory in that regard. And I don't think it's
All right.
congruent with like scientific
So
explanations.
when you
What do you
say
say?
qualia, are you just talking like what about qualia?
Qualia is just like what it feels like to be. I guess you could say. I guess that's how someone like Narco would describe it.
So basically, the challenges of qualia include because they emphasize the subjective aspects of experience that seem difficult to reduce to brain states. I mean, to physical brain states. Like, why is it difficult?
What do you mean? Why is it difficult?
Because like you're talking about qualia's challenge with like physicalism. It just posits that it seems difficult to reduce everything to physical brain states because
Yeah.
of like a subjective experience.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so why?
Like I just don't think you can describe qualia in terms of these brain states. Like obviously, I guess you could say something like for example, if
When you
like some sort of what do you
before
say,
when you
sir?
talk about describe, are you asking for like give any descriptors of the said thing or no?
Like I think you can like okay, I guess I could word it this way. We can talk about all of these physical states, I suppose, but they won't really give us any knowledge or inquiry
Wait,
into
I'm more
what
so
it feels.
asking like can we some way come to the conclusion of like said properties or aspects of the said thing?
Pardon me?
Conclusion of like aspects of the said thing
Of what said thing? I'm confused.
of like qualia.
I mean, I'm sure it's possible. Like we could probably learn about quality through physical states. I just don't think, based on what I know now, that that's likely, right?
Okay,
Like,
so it's okay. So you agree that it's possible. So my stance is just saying that it's very okay. So everything can just be chalked up to have some sort of physical explanation. So I don't think qualia is just going to be a defeater if you
yeah,
agree to what I
obviously,
said.
obviously it can be. But what I'm telling you now is that we can talk about all of these physical states. Yeah, it doesn't really give us any insight into what it feels
So
like to
wait,
instantiate those physical states.
before we get to that, what would you say about identity theory?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about currently.
Okay. So restate what you said.
Yeah, so as I was saying, we can talk about um, all of these physical states, but it doesn't really give us any inquiry into what it feels like to instantiate those physical states.
I don't think you think just because we don't. Are you saying just because we don't get a more detailed insight into the said thing that it would discredit the validity? Because I don't think that discredits the validity of the fact that this thing can all be chalked up to have some sort of physical explanation based off of like its correlations. Because we do know these things are going to be correlated via like it's just synthetically true.
Yeah, like I agree. Like obviously they can be correlated, but
No, they
that's
are
also
correlated. No, they are
yeah,
definitely
yeah, yeah.
correlated.
Okay,
Even a
that's fine. Like
dualist
they
stance
can.
would
Look.
in
Listen,
this stance
look,
would propose that
they
they're
can be correlated.
correlated.
official. Like once again,
Okay.
they can be correlated, but that's also expected under any sort of dualist view, right? Like I don't think any dualist would disagree with saying that the mind and the body are correlated in some
Yeah.
way, and it's also expected
Well,
under just
yeah,
physical
whatever the
spheres.
mind is, whether it's non-physical or physical, but like unless you're gonna give me like justification on whether like physical and non-physical interaction is gonna be like possible in this instance, I don't think you can say that it would be probability inducing for like your said side, because that'd be like saying with no justification the non-physical is gonna be characterized by a physical interaction. Like what would be the argument for that?
Yeah, so like it's just epistemically, as I was discussing with Clue a little bit ago.
Okay, epistemically, are you talking about via your epistemic, or are you talking about some sort of consensus?
Just consensus in general. Like I don't think that
Can you
there's
show
only
me?
one
Can you
mind.
show me this?
You want me to show you a consensus of the epistemology regarding psychoneural identity theory?
No, no, no. I want you to show me the epistemic consensus of the mind, the immaterial mind, being able to interact with the mind.
Y'all all bitches. Nobody gonna meet me because y'all all bitches.
Shut your bitch ass up, bro. That shit is not funny. Like real shit. This dude wants to talk shit about me in general chat and join up on the most corniest shit possible. Decency to do it because you're a fucking loser. You sit in your fucking room all day hoping you get some validation and some giggles in a VC chat. Nobody thinks you're funny. Nobody like loves you. Nobody was in the chat saying hee hee ha ha. No, not nobody was giggling. Holy shit! Oh
Hey,
my
wait,
god.
I was trying to. Hey, I was trying to debate. Could y'all chill? I was just trying to like
Yeah,
finish the
I got you. I don't know why you're joining VC acting like a fucking retard. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, fuck. I think I lost what I was gonna say, but um. Yeah, you'd have to have some sort of like justification for like your side to posit that, because for you to, I basically disagree with that consensus, because things like Spinoza's interaction problem exist. Are you familiar with what Spinoza's interaction problem is?
I'm not familiar with Spinoza's, no.
Okay, okay, okay. It's all right. Okay, so I looked up the definition on like ChatGPT, but like, would you be mad if I sent like a big ass fucking paragraph?
I definitely read it.
You definitely read it. Okay, okay, cool, 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 cool. All right. Yeah, because I don't know, and also I'm gonna need for you to show me that consensus on that said thing that you're like talking about. Oh fuck! Okay, at least 112. All right, I'm just gonna. Let me see. 32. However, it also, and I'm gonna send the rest. I'm gonna send the rest. However, it also. Where is it? Oh yeah, for the sake of recording, I low key probably should read what it states. Okay, so Basically, the problem of symbiosis interaction is a significant issue in the philosophy of the mind, particularly in dualistic frameworks where mental and physical substances are considered distinct, right? A proposed unique perspective on the mind-body problem that diverges from traditional dualism to understand how Spinoza addressed the interaction problem. Here, we're just going to talk about this framework. So, substance monism, Spinoza posits that there is only one substance, which he calls God or nature. This substance has infinite attributes, but humans can only perceive two: thought and extension, mind and body. Attributes and modes of this are going to be like thought and extension. There are attributes of like a single substance. Modes are specific modifications or states of those attributes. For example, individual thoughts and physical objects are modes of the attributes of thought and extension, respectively. And then parallelism. Spinoza argues for a form of parallelism where the mind and body are two aspects of the same substance. They do not casually interact, but rather correspond to each other perfectly. This means that for every mental event, there is a corresponding physical event, and vice versa. Now, okay, so now should I read the rest of that shit? Because I don't think that fucking proves what I was trying to argue. Let me see. Because I know it was one thing. I know it debunks like that substance dualism shit. Hold on. Let me see.
Who wrote this? Oh, it's like an SCP article or something.
Okay, Key. Maybe
And
some
what the
critiques.
It's ChatGPT, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did you ChatGPT this?
Oh, substance do wait, what? Fucking Spinoza's interaction? No, I knew what that was before, but I was just looking for the definition.
Yeah, the line on the last paragraph is very not. Sorry, the last line of the first paragraph is very. It doesn't read to me like the SCP.
You said the SCP? Like, are you talking about the shit where
It doesn't read to me like the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. I had mistaken it for it. My bad.
oh
I mean, like, I guess I'll just like present an argument. Are you familiar with James Ross's Indeterminacy of Meaning?
you said determinism?
Indeterminacy of Meaning.
Indeterminacy, define that.
He basically just argues that I don't know how to phrase this. So Fraser uses, I don't know if you know who Ed Fraser is, but he uses James Ross's Indeterminacy of Meaning to formulate an argument in favor of, or against, I should say, identity physicalism. And he says something along the lines of thoughts and mental processes have a definitive conceptual content. And like he points towards examples of like, I don't know, mathematics or rules of inference. He'll say something like, whenever we formulate a syllogism in the mind, it is definitive that the syllogism is either valid or not valid. It's not up to interpretation. And then he goes on to say in a second premise that nothing material has a definitive conceptual content. And he reasons this based on the fact that there's
Can you
nothing
stop right
about...
there? Can you stop right there? Wait, okay, so I think that's just not going to be true because there's going to be different types of like truth. There's going to be coherence theory, what's naming like basically like all sorts of like logical systems are going to be contingent on a set thing for like axioms. Every system has like a set of axioms that these things are going to be contingent on, right? You'd have to justify for a fact that these things are like 100% true. I'm pretty sure. Is that what you're arguing?
I'm not arguing that's 100% true. Like once again, all I'm saying is that nothing about matter seems to point towards any definitiveness in terms of meaning, right? So,
What do you
based
mean
on
definitiveness?
as in like, if you were to like have like this material object or like this particular suppositor,
Are you
nothing
saying that
about
we don't know if physical is physical?
no. So like, just take like I don't know a triangle, right? Like, if I draw a triangle on a piece of paper, someone might say that this is a triangle. Someone might say that this is a black triangle. Someone might say that this is like the shape of a pizza slice. You feel me? So
Are you talking about phenomenal conservatism?
no. That's not related. What I'm saying here is that
You're
nothing
talking about
material.
seemings. Wait, no, seemings. Yes, you are, because seemings you're talking about somebody's perception of like the said thing through like their senses.
I'm not talking about phenomenal conservatism in the sense I'm not saying that we are justified in believing in our
Those are
seemings.
physical. Wait, are you aware that those are physical things, right?
I agree,
Okay. Go ahead, continue.
but there's just like there's nothing material, or nothing in the material object points us towards some sort of definitive conceptual content. It seems if definitivity is
No,
only
definitive as what you mean, as in true understanding of the said thing.
as in this one unambiguous conceptual content.
Like layman's terms. I'm actually to elaborate on that. I don't know what you mean by that.
Unambiguous means like it can't be interpreted in a distinct way, like it's exact.
Are you essentially saying that there's no way to interpret what its true essence is?
No, should I just send you like a little excerpt and you can read it?
I'm trying to ask you what you mean.
Yeah,
You're
but I
saying,
feel like
okay, are you saying that there's no way to fully understand what this thing is, or define, or basically find if this thing has properties? Is that what you're trying to entail?
I'm saying if we look at the material object alone, right, like just on its own, there's nothing about the material object that can tell us what it is exactly.
Okay, so how does that? Okay, you're saying nothing can tell us. Okay, why? Yes, it can. Via empiricism.
Yeah, but in order for us to verify what any empirical object
Empiricism is
is,
going to be more probabilistic than something. Than something
yeah,
that's
but look,
rather than nothing.
but in order for us to verify what any empirical object is, we need to relate it back to the mind, right? Like we need to say, look, this empirical object corresponds with this definitive
Wait, we
conceptual
need to?
content.
Why is that the case?
How would we identify anything without first comparing it to some sort of universal in the mind?
I mean, that's your burden. You're the one saying that it was necessary that it would be the case. It couldn't.
I just don't see any
I
like logic
think there
here.
could be some sort of physical way, whatever, due to the via the interaction that would have with the body.
Yeah, but look, whenever we identify objects, we say, look, this is the type of thing, right? This is a type of thing or a specific type of thing. So we're saying that it fits under this category, and this category exists within the mind, right? It's like it's not it's not like a
Exists in.
extra mental thing.
Wait, are you saying that physical only exists within the mind?
No. What I'm saying is that in the material world, you have all of these objects, right? These supposita, right? And then in order to identify what the supposita is, right? Because nothing about the supposita itself tells us about what it is, right? Exactly. And so, in order for us to identify what the supposita is, we need to relate it back to some sort of category or universal in the mind, and that universal would have a
Why?
definitive conceptual content.
Okay, so are you saying that just because this thing in the mind can't prove 100% correspondence, we cannot denote this said thing of being the case? You realize that would just lack. Okay, so you realize that you would say the same thing for the other side could just be argued of like non-physical.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, so what are you trying to say?
What I'm saying is that outside of the mind, nothing outside of the mind, I guess you could say, has this definitive conceptual content. Only things within the
Has
mind have
definitive?
this.
How do you know that? Like, what proves that?
What proves the fact that nothing outside of the mind has a definitive conceptual content?
Yeah,
There seems to be no fact about a material object that would tell us what it is exactly.
that's an argument from ignorance.
Me using my seemings as an argument for ignorance?
No, you're just saying via the lack of evidence, right? You're saying via the lack of evidence that this thing doesn't have any definitive conceptual content, right? But you don't even know if you have the methodology to like even discern like this said what's named content as normal. That doesn't mean that like it's going to be impossible or not existing in like any possible world, right?
That's
You'd
not the
have to
claim
have
either.
some sort of objective. You'd have to have some sort of objective seeming for you to posit.
I mean, that's not the claim either, right? Like I agree, it could be possible. At the very least, that your position is true. But what I'm saying here is that based on my current perceptions, right, based on what I've perceived currently, it would seem as if the evidence doesn't or is not congruent with your view, because it seems as if the only things that have definitive conceptual content are things that are extramental and material. And if
So
the
when you
mind has
say conceptual, are you aware the conceptual can still be physical?
yeah, can possibly, yeah.
Yeah, And are you aware that there's going to be correlative properties to said conceptual things and the physical in reality?
I'm not sure what you mean. Also, I only have like 5 minutes
They're
left.
going to
So,
be correlative.
but in what correlated in what way?
Like basically like quantum mechanics. Basically, quantum mechanics, what's the name, posits that possibilities are going to be aspects of like said reality, not as in the sense that they're unactualized and there's definitive. Well, there's like proof of like said things existing as things, and these would be caused by other physical interactions.
Wait, I'm sorry. What did you say about the quantum mechanics?
Basically, positive possibilities are aspects of reality. Those things are going to be contingent on other said physical interactions, so it could still be reducible to some sort of physical interaction of like all this said process. You're saying via your lack of epistemic that it necessarily cannot be the case. I've already defeated you on that. Okay, now via my epistemic, what's name via like empiricism and physicalism, right? And it's synthetically the case, right? And you can't say analytically it's not the case, right? So via all these different cases, it can just be the case that this thing has some sort of physical explanation that it can be chalked up to. So I don't think how that's going to defeat anything, because my whole stance is that if these things, right, since physical things are going to be characterized by these said interactions and stuff like that in the said properties of the said thing, seemingly if this thing has these said properties under both sides, you would agree that you would agree that this thing would still be probably deducing of this side being physical, because what's in question on your side is still if the non-physical is going to be something that can have physical interaction, which you still haven't justified at all. I mean, your stance can believe that, but if I question if I question how the possibility of this said thing be the case, and you don't give an argument for, I don't really see why.
I mean, do you want to take that as like a conclusion? Because it's 1 a.m., so I can just conclude it.
Sure. Actually, yeah, we can conclude.
Yeah, I guess my conclusion would just be, I presented an argument that uses James Ross's indeterminacy of meaning, which just means that nothing material would have this definitive conceptual content. It will seem as if only things that are in the mind have this definitive conceptual content. And justification for premise one, that being that thoughts and mental processes have definitive conceptual content, is the idea of like, I don't know, mathematical proofs and syllogisms, where when we say that an argument is valid, validity here is unambiguous, right? Like there's no sort of polysemousness in the definition of ambiguity or definition of validity. In the same way, there is no ambiguity in mathematical proofs that either is the case or is not the case. However, with material things, there is no fact about a material thing, at least according to our current epistemic analysis of material objects. There's no fact about a material object that can indicate to us what it is definitively, or can indicate to us its definitive content. And so it seems as if the only things that have this definitive concept or content are mental processes. And if, based on epistemic analysis, material things seem not to have this definitive content, then we can say, like, inductively, that these mental processes do not fit under the set of things that have, or that do not have, do not have definitive content, and therefore they shouldn't be material. The claim was never that it's not possible for them to be material, or that it's not possible for the mind to be physical. I don't think that there's a logical issue with it, but I just think that, I don't know, based on our current epistemology, that identity theory just seemed to be false. But it was a good debate officially.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say that basically I had proposed your own like sort of like argument against you in reference to like the whole non-physical aspects of the said thing, basically getting a sort of like a liar's paradox, or like essentially like for everything we don't even know if we can verify the existence of the said non-physical and the said mental states, and that was put into question, right? You never really justified that. You kind of just reaffirmed like what you said again, right? And I said, and you never disagreed with the fact that that thing still can be chalked up to have some sort of physical explanation. You never defeated the point that these things are going to be characterized by physical interaction, or the fact that being physical interaction is going to be a characteristic and property of being physical. You never gave an argument for why the non-physical and physical can't interact. You kind of just like reaffirmed your stance and never justified it. So I think I would just win via the multitudes of consistency and probability inducing elements, and you never respond to me talking about the multiple ways that this thing is going to be true, like synthetically, synthetically in like multiple other ways. So yeah, I won. Yeah, that nigga's horrible and shitty.
So what? Yeah, we can discuss or debate whatever. Like it's
I
fine.
take the positive.
You say what?
I'll take the positive for God's existence.
I'll be agnostic.
Yeah. What the? Wait. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Sorry. Let me go get my fucking God's existence argument. I think
Is
it's
it
just. I'm just gonna use smoothie.
syllogism?
Yeah, it's a syllogism. I'm just gonna use smoothie's fucking argument.
Okay, cool. I'm expecting great things from this.
Oh God. Is it the moral? Okay. Hmm.
This is good stuff right here.
Okay.
Hey, you getting the propositional answer realistic during the VC?
Bro, I still don't know what he means. Like, I was trying to understand, but I guess based on the way he defines existence, he thinks existence is to be spatially located. So obviously,
Yeah.
propositions don't have
What
spatial.
the fuck?
I talked with like 2 people about it yesterday.
That's pretty bad.
I just
I mean, he
I
probably,
just I don't
he probably just thinks everything's physical.
yeah. But I don't know like
Theology,
the
reasoning. Okay, fine, I
I don't
got
know
it.
what the
Okay, cool.
importance
Let me see.
behind like that kind of claim
Yeah,
is. Like, what do you gain?
It's so meaningless, bro. Like, it's so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. That guy is considered like pretty smart though. Like,
No, I
honestly,
know.
everyone thinks he's the god.
I think he was just being edgy, honestly.
I mean, every time I'm debating, even if I'm right, he'll mic up and say something like, "Oh
No,
no,
I know.
not this
That's
series part again."
that's why everybody dislikes him because he's just so negative. He goes into
Okay,
Lance
so there you
Bush's
go.
favor.
All right, so I guess I'll just use smoothies. All right, so P1 is just gonna be whatever begins to exist has a cause. Wait, actually, that shit is so ass. Hold on, let me read the rest of this shit.
Wait, can
Uh,
you just send it in chat?
no, I'm trying to send the full parts of it because maybe we're not reading it wrong, or maybe he needs to update this shit because from what
Yeah.
I'm saying, this might not be good.
Wait, see, what was the first argument for God you said? Like the one that you'd use?
I'd argue that there exists a sort of wholly contingent gridscape, and then possibly possibly this gridscape is explained. And then if it is explained, it must be explained by a necessary being. So possibly there exists.
Okay,
What'd you say?
yeah, the model ontological shit. Nah, okay, you got it, bro.
I mean, I don't know how you deny any of the premises.
Is she supposed to ask him to give you like empirical evidence or some shit like that?
No,
You don't
that,
need empirical evidence to prove stuff.
I mean, when you're talking about like possibilities and shit like that, I feel like you can argue something's going to be more reasonably your case if it's more empirically supported.
When
yeah,
we're talking about possibility, we're not talking about like some sort of like likelihood raising evidence thing. We're talking about possibility in the sense of consistency with or inconsistency with logic or something like that.
yeah, it's empirical evidence is a way official, but it's not the only way. The model ontological argument is deductive proof. It doesn't use any.
Oh,
But
it
it's
Yeah.
like
doesn't use empirical evidence. I
no,
think
No.
look, I think that could potentially be a problem actually.
no, no. A lot of deductive arguments don't use empirical data. That's
But
fine.
oh my gosh, man!
No,
Like
because
But
like,
it,
what if somebody were to be like, okay, so let's say somebody posits this possibility, right? That's not founded in any empirical evidence and stuff like that. Now they don't disagree with the fact that empirical evidence and stuff like that is going to be like a sort of a basis of proof. But if we're just talking about like possible worlds, couldn't you just say, oh, the possibility of that possibility
yeah,
not existing, it also exists. So like, it wouldn't
yeah.
be really founded in anything.
If someone just posits X is possible, then you could, I mean, maybe say they're open to the claim that not X is also possible. But what C is saying is not just that God is like possibly the creator or whatever the fuck, right? There's some like the argument is deductive, so like the conclusion that's reached is basically um God would exist in all possible worlds because of the S5 axiom. But
Oh, he uses the S.
like,
I forgot how to debunk that shit. So he probably would have got it through, unless I would have went to like ChatGPT or some shit like that. But yeah. What's the S5 axiom?
if something is possible, it's necessarily possible. If something is necessary, then it's
Something that's
necessary.
possible. What the? I don't think that's a good argument.
no, 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 no.
No,
If
no, no.
something is
This is
possible, it's necessarily possible. Is what he's saying.
Yeah, that's
I think another one is if
But what if okay, so
necessarily,
what if somebody were to say that what if somebody were to say like the same methodology that you use to reach your conclusion of this thing being possible, they could use that same methodology to say that
They
this thing
can.
is not possible. Like literally, like I don't really see how you're going to defeat that. Like if I provided an argument that was just more empirically supported and just like supported through multiple means, which yours is going to be supported only through like some sort of consistency you can make within your own like framework for the shit. I don't think that's going to be a more accepted than something that's actually founded in shit that we
If
hold to be a truth amped. You know,
if
it's
you
just like
have
I don't see the arguments, but I believe in God though.
Mm-hmm. But tell you shit. Wait, truth and
do you have the argument yet?
Huh?
I said, did you post the argument or no?
Did I post? Oh no, I'm not doing it. Smoothie's theology argument. I just don't get it, or it's ass. I don't know.
right?
Oh,
So,
I'm not gonna do it.
you're not gonna debate theology.
No.
What other topics do
are
you
you
want?
fine? Wait, are you fine with C taking the affirmative?
I mean, sure, you can take the affirmative.
Okay. So my position here is just that um the theistic hypothesis is the best hypothesis to explain natural phenomena.
Are you? So you're saying it's the best based off what?
Yeah, there's two arguments I'm going to use. So they're pretty rudimentary. The first is a kalam, and the second one is the theological argument. So look, the first argument, which is the kalam, posits something like everything that begins to exist has a cause. I'm reformulating that first premise to be all natural events have an explanation for why they obtain. And then we'd say something like the universe is a natural event, therefore the universe has an explanation for why it obtains, or something like that.
What proves that?
What proves which premise, the first or the second?
The one that's like every all natural things have like an explanation, or everything has an explanation for why it exists or
So
how it
yeah,
exists.
just to be clear, it's not everything. It's just all natural things, or all natural events.
You
And the
don't think
evidence is
anything? Wait, hold on, wait, stop. So, what do you mean by natural?
physical phenomena.
Physical phenomena?
Yeah.
Okay, so hypothetically, if non-physical things exist, I think that would be encompassed by the definition.
No, I don't take it that non-physical phenomena on this definition. It's only physical phenomena that I'm talking about.
Oh, so you're just talking about under one part of the definition, but you agree that natural, like if you were talking about all natural things that exist, non-physical could be encompassed under that
No,
set term.
no, 'cause
If it
I
was the
don't,
case that physical only existed.
no, the way I define natural,
I know I get
only,
what you're trying to propose. I'm saying that are you trying to say that it's necessarily this definition, or could this definition be encompassing other things?
no, like more. Okay, look, just listen. My definition
Oh
of
my god.
natural. Just stop.
Hold
Just
on,
stop.
wait 1 second. I'll be right back.
I already know this debate's going to be a pain, bro.
See,
Who's this?
it's Jazzy.
Yo.
Why do you debate back to back?
I'm on summer break,
Okay.
but I'm gonna stop though. After this tournament, I'm out.
Yeah, he's lying.
It's not a lie. I was out of the server. I only joined back because I heard it was a tournament that Goons and Eric were gonna be in, and I was like, oh, I get to debate those guys.
I
I'm
I was
gonna
like,
make
mean,
another tournament as soon as you leave. I'm gonna join back.
no, because by the time they make another tournament, the Porter server's gonna be up, and that's where I'm gonna be. Speaking of which, I'm gonna debate Apollo as well. We're just setting up now.
Oh no,
Bro,
just
B-Man is such a hater, bro. Like this guy,
bro.
you really don't like me, bro. Like you really hate
What
me.
do you need?
You really fucking hate me, bro. It's okay. I know all of you haters, you niggas hate on me. You say I lose to flames and shit. Okay, it's cool.
You do.
Bro, listen. I just tell you things in your best interest.
No, you're just hating, bro.
Yeah, it's in your best interest to make a debater tier list.
If you're asking me for a debate tier, sorry. If you want to know your your placement, you're like somewhere in tier 3 or tier 4.
What? How many tiers are there?
Like 5.
Who else is in tier 3?
Tier 3 consists of people like Mono, Actually, no, Mono's
Goodbye.
tier 4. Mono's tier 4. Nah, I probably put you like in tier 3. It's probably like in the same place as people like Hero to Nerd. Do you think you'd beat Hero to Nerd?
Yes, I already beat him on JJK.
I don't know. I mean, you say you beat all everyone.
Yuki versus Maki. I had Yuki.
I mean, you say you beat everyone you debate. I don't know.
It's on a rec, by the way.
Well, like, it's fine. Like, you can beat him if you want. Like, I'm just saying,
Who's in
you guys
tier
are
2? Who's in tier 2? Who's in tier 2?
Who's in tier 2? Tensor, Toxic, Shinra.
Why is the gap so big?
The gap, Shinra's
Polar
like,
bear in Arkansas.
why would the gap? What do you mean?
You went from Hero to Tensa.
No, tier 2, not tier 3.
Yes, tier 3 has like Hero, and tier 2 has Tensa.
Yeah, yeah. Tier 2 Tensor is like mid-high tier 2, and then Hero is like low-mid tier 3.
Oh my god. Just make sure I'm like one spot under C, under you, or like above
Okay,
you.
we quote unquote go relative, if that's the term you guys use, on topics that I don't do. But like I
You do
rip your head off the
Naruto.
topics that I do.
You do Naruto, what?
No, I've had less than 10 Naruto debates in my whole career.
So have I.
Like
Nigga,
I read
King has
What
less
made
debates
you?
in his whole career, bro.
Oh,
All right, I'm
officially
back.
back.
I'm back.
Okay, look,
I'm back.
just to be clear, when I say natural, what I'm
What
referring
the
to is what I'm saying is physical
fuck?
phenomena.
Okay.
Okay, so you saying will non-physical phenomena be under this scope? No, that's a category error because natural only concerns the category of physical things.
Yeah, see, that's just gonna be not true, right? I'm more so using a philosophical denotation of what natural is. It would just be all-encompassing phenomena. Any phenomena that would occur would just be natural.
Yeah. So that's your definition. I grant that, but you're attacking my argument, and my argument uses my definitions.
Okay, so you're saying, but I would just more so saying that he could follow under this term, right? If yours came to be the fact that it was false, you know?
Yeah, under the way you're using the term, sure, yes.
Okay. But I also want to give the argument or ask a question. So like, what's going to be the argument for like why it's more parsimonious to accept God's existence?
That was never the claim.
So you're making a necessary claim that he does exist.
No, I'm not making a necessary claim.
So you're arguing for probability.
Yes, I'm arguing for probability. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the argument for why God's existence is going to be more probable?
Yeah. So there's two arguments I'm using. The Kalam, which I said all natural events have an explanation for why they obtain. The universe is a natural event. The universe has an explanation for why it obtains.
Okay, so what proves all natural things have an explanation?
There's just like a plethora of inductive evidence for why natural events have explanations.
Okay, so are you just trying to say like via like phenomenal experience and like rationalizing about these said things or whatever?
No, not just phenomenal experience, but literally every scientific endeavor ever seems to point towards the fact that things that are natural have explanations. So, for example, like even if you want to look at like quantum mechanics, because a lot of people like to talk about quantum mechanics as a possible counter, would you at least agree that at the macro level, so at the level concerning objects that are bigger, not microscopic, etc., would you at least agree at that level? If something happens at that level, there's an explanation, most likely.
No, not necessarily. I mean, what do you define as like an explanation? First off, let's get into that. Like just for like a descriptor for what this thing is or how this thing works.
No, an explanation here would just be something that raises the likelihood of something obtaining.
Wait, so are you using some sort of Oxford, some sort of colloquial?
No, that's just how I'm defining it. So, like for example,
Why the fuck
no,
do you keep on making up your definitions of words?
it's not, I'm not making
Isn't
up.
that like an equivocation?
No, it's not. I'm not making up. It's
Because
not
an
an equivocation.
explanation is just like an explanation is just a coherent descriptor of something.
Yeah. So once again, I know that's how you're using the term explanation. I'm saying
No,
this.
that's literally what the
Official,
term
wait,
means.
just official.
Okay,
Wait. So
we can just go to Oxford, bro.
hold on a sec. I'm just telling you how I'm using it. So, like for example, I might say that me smoking explains lung cancer, or smoking is a cause explanation for lung cancer. But
That's
smoking doesn't.
simply just an equivocation.
Hold on a second. Just stop talking, please. But smoking doesn't necessitate the existence of lung cancer. All smoking does is raise the probability of you obtaining lung cancer. So the way I'm using explanation is something that or raises the likelihood of another event obtaining.
Yeah. Okay. So, are you saying that we've done this before? Because there's a lot of problems. Because I have a lot of questions for you. Are you saying that we use this methodology currently?
We use that term of explanation.
No, we use that. We have access to that methodology currently.
What methodology?
What you're talking about is like raising likelihood.
I don't know what you mean. Can you rephrase the question?
Okay, you said an explanation. It's just like some sort of like scientific method that induces probability or like induces likelihood on the inside of what something is.
No, that's not
Or
what I
like the
said.
attributes of the said thing is.
That's not what I said. I
Okay,
never
so what
said.
are you saying then?
Yeah, so all I said is an explanation
I'm
is
just gonna ask
something.
you to prove it if you're saying that we have access to like
No,
we
no,
actually
look.
can
Yeah,
prove
I
likelihood.
know. I'm saying an explanation is just something that raises the likelihood of something else obtaining or being the case.
Yeah, I'm saying that that's gonna be a presupposition. I was asking you if we have that said ability. You never really answered. And
If you have
then
what
like,
capability?
can you prove that?
Prove what? What do you want me to prove? What part of the sentence?
Prove that we can raise likelihood
What?
off currently. Yeah, currently. Prove currently that we can raise likelihood, like our methodology, like we have access to it. Because you're saying an explanation is something that we can give or whatever, and you're saying that you're defining it. But I already called out the equivocation, by the way. Like,
Wait,
obviously, if you point out, wait,
hold on.
stop. Because you made multiple points. Hold on. Obviously, if you change the definition of a word to support the premises and stuff like that, then hypothetically, in some possible world where these definitions were actually that, then sure, it could be the case that it could follow maybe, right?
Okay, so look,
But let's get
just to
in.
be
Wait,
clear.
stop.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
You never really gave justification as to why I should take your fucking definitions to be fucking like why I should take your fucking definitions for accepting. You just said like, oh, under the way I define these things. Like,
Yeah.
what the
So
fuck?
okay, look. So I'll try to
Okay.
respond to the things you said. The
Okay.
first thing you said is that I equivocated. Now equivocation is when you have like say two premises and a conclusion, and use the same term in those premises or in those two premises, but you're using them in a different way. So, like for example, maybe I might accuse you of equivocating on the word "no" in Mary Storm experiment between knowledge by acquaintance and knowledge by another method or something like that. I just wanted to know what premises, and I think we can stay on this point if you're afraid of me shotgunning. What premises did I, or what word did I equivocate between which premises?
Let me see. Oh yeah, it was explanation.
The word explanation. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah.
You literally said, I don't care if this thing is defined to be this way. What I define this thing this way is to be this way. And then I asked you for your justification. You never fucking gave that shit. So like,
Yeah.
from what I'm looking at it, yeah, that's just gonna be you making up your own definition without giving an argument and committing an equivocation.
Wait, no,
Like
wait. So
exactly. You
wait.
said, wait, no,
Okay, okay.
stop. Steve, don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. Let me respond to what you said. You said it's when you change one of the words, and then I don't know where you got premises. You could show me that definition because I think you probably just did another equivocation because I'm looking that shit up right now. But yeah, so you're literally just changing the denotation of a word to fit the fucking premises of your fucking syllogism or whatever, which is like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what's the justification for why you can do that?
Okay. So once again,
Hold on,
what I
I
asked
gotta
you
fix.
was what I wanted to ask you, and look, just don't do this thing where you just go on tangents because I want to keep this really linear. Look, you're claiming that I'm equivocating on the word explanation, and what I want to know is in premise one, how am I using the word explanation? In premise two, how am I using the word explanation? Because I'm using the word in the same way. When I say that all natural events have an explanation, what I mean to say is all natural events have something that raises the likelihood of that event obtaining. And when I say the universe has explanation, what I'm saying is the universe has something that raises the likelihood of it obtaining. So I'm using the term in the same way. I'm unclear on how
Yes,
I'm equivocating.
I've already put in the question multitudes of like P1, P2, and the justification behind those. And then I'll also just say the possibility of the contrary also exists, that these things don't have some sort of natural or some sort of explanation of the way you construe these fucking terms to be. So if you're just gonna say that all of these things need some sort of like have some sort of coherent thing in all possible world or a descriptor, I'd actually approve that shit. But I have to go pee right quick. Hold on.
Yep. So Bean Man, so far, do you think I'm getting slam right now?
Yes, you are.
What the fuck am I listening to, nigga?
This is what I mean, bro. Like niggas will have this sort of performance and then they'll go around and say that they beat me in debates, bro.
See, I have had like 5 actual Naruto debates in my career.
I'm not really interested in talking about why I'm better than you. I don't care anymore.
You think you're real?
I don't think I'm real with you at all.
Flames, just simmer down there. See, just to be clear, you just have to make your wins more convincing, man.
Yeah, no, obviously
You
I
said
can't
we're real.
convince.
See, you said we're
I
real.
feel like
Now
whenever I
switch
debate
it into
people,
official judgments.
I feel like
Everyone
He's
that's
gonna
not
leave.
C, simmer down there. Everyone that's not C, simmer down there.
I was just gonna
He's
say like
gonna
I thought
leave
this.
out that me and
Why does
C
he
are
keep
2-0 on judgments.
Flames, simmer down there.
Yes, I was just gonna say what's it called? I feel like me trying to convince the population of Scapia that I win a debate is like me trying to convince a pack of autistic cavemen that I win a debate. It's as if it's just impossible. I don't think it's within my capabilities.
I don't know. I feel like it's because you're
Wait,
focused
what are
on
you
the wrong
talking
thing,
about?
man. If you're trying so hard to appeal to this like place, and obviously this place they deem different things to be rhetorical or convincing, you just got to make it convincing in your own way. Because I'm not even sure if you think you're convincing all the way, bro. Sometimes it doesn't even sound like you're confident. So I don't know. Like I'm just doing it based off my like perspective, and obviously I'm not the most
Any
confident debater out there. You just
autistic
got to be more.
caveman.
That's fine. I
No,
don't care, bro.
Flames, like, can you please stop talking to me, bro? Like I don't care anymore, bro. Like please.
What does he
Yeah, man. I'm
mean?
just
Like look, if you think you're
What
better
is
than me, wow, you're better than me. Okay, but I don't care. Just leave me alone.
he? What the fuck?
guys, we gotta
Not when you
relax, man.
make up your own definitions and don't give where it's from. You
Say,
gave where it's from. It's from your understanding and your usage of the word. Hello?
Like, as long as he grants that my argument is valid and sound under my definition, there really is no issue.
Yeah, like the thing is, all you have to say, like if you were to say that, all you would have to say is something along the lines of, well, the definition is derived from like my like personal understanding of the word, my personal usage of it. Like I don't have to have it derived from some like dictionary or anything. It would just be like my familiar understanding of it. Like
Yep.
all you have to.
It's not even like my the way I explained equivocation or equivocation explanation is like idiosyncratic. A lot of the time you might say that smoking is an explanation for lung cancer, but smoking doesn't determine or necessitate lung cancer. It just raises the likelihood of lung cancer. So, in fact, the definition I gave broadens the scope and it more so aligns with how we use the term explanation in day to day. I don't know why he's so like convinced that I don't know being proprietary.
Yeah, I think he just like. I think he's like still in like the subcom mindset where like if you use a definition, it has to be in the dictionary for some reason.
Yeah.
He'd have to argue that he did.
No, when you make up your own definition, look, everyone makes up their own definitions. Like the dictionary isn't prescriptive, so I don't have to use the definitions in the dictionary. They're descriptive, so they're descriptive of certain phenomena or certain physical facts, whatever. So like, as long as I present a definition and it aligns with, physical phenomena and is compatible with what we see, like that's perfectly okay. If you think my definition is contradictory, then that's a completely
Okay,
thing.
so why are you making multiple points when I'm on the toilet? But anyways, so first off, I just have to attack the multiple like points that you just made right there. So a definition,
And
unless you're gonna
I'll
prove to
drop
me that.
them.
Oh, wait, stop,
Wait,
stop, stop, stop,
I'll
stop.
drop the
Well,
points. I'll
stop,
drop
stop,
the
stop,
points.
stop. No, no, no,
I'll
no,
drop
no,
I'll
no,
drop
no, no,
the
no, no,
points.
no.
I
Point,
just
no,
I'll
no,
drop
no,
the
no, no,
points.
no,
I'll
no,
just
no.
say those
Unless you're gonna
points.
prove to me that the definitions are actually proven what the fucking descriptors of what these things are, right? I could just say that it's possible that these things are just gonna be an attempt, right? What actually 100% proves the fact that these things are descriptors of the said phenomena, right? You'd be presupposing the phenomenal experience or whatever could be some sort of methodology for
Uh,
us to discern what's 100% corresponds to
uh,
reality, which is like already what's been put into question
uh,
way earlier within the fucking debate. So that would have just been a question back too, you fucking stupid monkey bitch. I don't even want to do theology anymore. That shit pissed me off. So yeah.
I don't understand. Why do you debate like that? Do you debate like that in real life?